Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. In this video, I am going to teach about the Spring Boot CRUD application. Very easy way to implement the CRUD application. So you have to watch this video until then you will be able to make the Spring Boot application without any problem. Right. So first, I am going to teach how to make the Spring Boot application project. How to make them. Go to the Google search, type Spring Initializer. Press enter key. You have visited the respective website. Okay, click on this. Click on this link. It goes to the respective website. So this is the main area of Spring Initializer. Here we are going to create the project. So first we have to make sure project here it defaultly come as a Groovy, select as Maven. Okay, so Maven dependencies, right? So here you have to make sure the language whether it select as Java or not. If it is click anything like this, you have to select the language as Java, right? So here it has been selected automatically that version 3.4.5. You keep as it is. Don't select this snapshot and all. Okay, so you have to keep as it is, right? So here we have to create the group and articulate name of the project. Now I'm going to create this one is a name example. This is a namespace, so example. Here I'm going to create here as a artificial. I'm going to create a project name, right? I'm going to create the project name. Here project group I'm going to create here as Spring project. Here artificate name which is nothing but a project name. So give a student CRUD, right? So the package it will be like created like this com Spring project student CRUD. This is the name of the project student CRUD. Okay, so this is how the package has been created, right? So this is a name. Okay, you can see the same thing. Group, this is a group. Spring Boot, inside the Spring group, the project name is student. This is the domain, right? Simple way to you have to create the project. So after that package you have to create jar. Java version I have select as at 17. Okay, 17 I am going to select as 17. Here I am going to add the dependency. What are the dependency we need? So click on this. First dependency I am going to type as Java Web. This one. Second dependency I am going to type as Lombok. So that we have to ask Lombok. This one so we need that. After that we have need another dependency JPA. It is communicate with our SQL queries, right? So web, this one Lombok and JPA. We have another dependency which is a MySQL. Okay, so these are the dependency we have to install them, right? Now I'm going to everything you can double check it is everything you did correct or not. You double check on it. So after that okay, so all the things, so this one I have no needed, I just remove it, no needed. Okay, at the moment this one keep as it is, this one only we have need, right? So Lombok we can do it later on. Okay, so no need this one at the moment. So if you need that dependency we can add it. Okay, so that's all the things we have talked about. I will be teaching, don't worry. So that is enough. So everything is, this is the project name, everything right. So let's click generate. Here it generated successfully. Your project is created successfully. Now this project student CRUD, I just cut this project and paste on the E drive. Right, it pasted successfully. Now this project I am going to extract it. Okay, this is display as a jar file. So I right click and click extract file. Extract here. It will be extracted as a normal file which is a student CRUD, right? So this is how we have make the application, right? So now I'm going to go to open this folder into my VS Code. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we created the Spring Boot application project. In this video, I'm going to open up on the IntelliJ IDEA. So go to the file option, open. Right, you have to select the directory where your project is located. So I have created my project in my E drive. So you have to go to the E drive, select the E drive, expand the folder. Now here, which name is Spring CRUD. So here this one, right? What's the project we have given? Sorry, student CRUD, not Spring CRUD, student CRUD we have created. So we have a student CRUD here. The folder is there. The folder is available. Don't open here. Select and open it. Okay. You have to go inside the folder. You go inside the folder. You have another folder has been created. You can see here. I already this one I already explained. Right here. Inside this folder we have another folder. This folder you have to open it. You have to select this folder and expand it. Select this folder. Inside this folder you have all the your project related files. You have to open it. This. Click OK. Trust project. This window. Right. You have to open it. Right. Here your project is opening. You have to wait until the Maven dependencies installation completed. Okay, you have to wait. Here it is installing. Right. Now here, so all things are installed. You have to wait until the things is completed. Now it has been completed. Now here. Right. Now this is your project folder, student CRUD. You have to expand the folder. You have a form.xml file. If you double check it, double click on it. Now here this all things I have discussed, right? The dependency here, this is the dependency I gave. JPA, web, and MySQL dependencies here. Here, what are the dependencies you have selected? This all the dependencies available in the form.xml file, right? If you want to add the new dependencies, I already taught how to add the new dependencies, right? I hope you guys you understood things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we created the Spring Boot application project. In this video, I'm going to open up on the IntelliJ IDEA. So go to the file option, open. Right, you have to select the directory where your project is located. So I have created my project in my E drive. So you have to go to the E drive, select the E drive, expand the folder. Now here, which name is Spring CRUD. So here this one, right? What's the project we have given? Sorry, student CRUD, not Spring CRUD, student CRUD we have created. So we have a student CRUD here. The folder is there. The folder is available. Don't open here. Select and open it. Okay. You have to go inside the folder. You go inside the folder. You have another folder has been created. You can see here. I already this one I already explained. Right here. Inside this folder we have another folder. This folder you have to open it. You have to select this folder and expand it. Select this folder. Inside this folder you have all the your project related files. You have to open it. This. Click OK. Trust project. This window. Right. You have to open it. Right. Here your project is opening. You have to wait until the Maven dependencies installation completed. Okay, you have to wait. Here it is installing. Right. Now here, so all things are installed. You have to wait until the things is completed. Now it has been completed. Now here. Right. Now this is your project folder, student CRUD. You have to expand the folder. You have a form.xml file. If you double check it, double click on it. Now here These all things I have discussed, right? The dependency here, this is the dependency I gave. JPA, web, and MySQL dependencies here. Here, what are the dependencies you have selected? This all the dependencies available in the form.xml file, right? If you want to add the new dependencies, I already taught how to add the new dependencies, right? I hope you guys you understood things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we saw how to open the project on the IntelliJ IDEA. Let's continue the video. Now here, go to the SRC folder. Inside the SRC folder, we have a main folder. Inside the main folder, we have a folder which is a Java. Inside the Java folder, we have a here. This is the package we have created. Com Springboard Spring Project Student. This is the package we have created, right? So we have a here. This is a project we have created. Com Spring Project Student Create. This is a package we have created. Inside this package, we have a main method. We already discussed about our previous videos. I hope you have understood. Now, I'm going to create the controller package. So we have created the packages. So here, let me move into our documentation. This diagram we already show. This is the Springboard layer architecture. There is a controller, service, repository, and data source. Now I am going to create this all the packages. So let me see one by one. So here first I'm going to create the package as controller package. So select this our main package. This is our main package. Right click, new. You have to select the package. You have a controller. Press enter key. A controller package has been created successfully. After that, I'm going to create another package which is a DTO. Select this package, main package, right click, new package. This one should be, I'm going to name it as DTO. This package I'm going to create as DTO. Select the main package, right click, new package. The third package I'm going to create as entity. Press enter key. Right. Fourth package I'm going to create as new package. This is a repo. I'm going to create all the packages. Simply I'm going to create short names here: controller, DTO, entity, and repo. These are the package I'm going to create. Right. I have to create one more package. That is a service. Right click, new package, service. Press enter key on your keyboard. Right. Now we have created 5 different packages: controller, DTO, entity, repo, and service. Now, I hope you guys you understood how to create the packages. Right? This is the professional way to create the packages one by one. I'll see you in my next lecturing. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the database configuration of the project. So we have discussed about how to create the database. So you can go to the resources folder, expand it. There is a file which is application.properties. You double click on this. Here I already did. I already wrote and I show you. Okay. You no need to write again by again. Once you the first video I will show you for understanding purpose all the things I written and I explain it. So after that you just copy and paste it this inside this file application properties. It's all the database configuration part, right? So here this all the code I already explained it, so that I just copy and paste it over here, right? So here Spring application name of the project. What's the name? Student Create. I give the name as student grade. Here server port, in my last project I gave 8088. Now I'm going to give the different port. I just give the different port as 8085. You can write it here 8088. It no problem. So I just change the port. You will be able to change whatever port you can able to change over here. That's no problem. After that, first you have to create the database. You have to write create. This is a driver registration, MySQL driver registration, com.mysql.cj JDBC driver. After that, your database name. You have to create the database name. What's the name you are going to create the database? So here I'm going to create the database name as here. I'm going to create the name as I'm going to create as BRM school. This is the database name I'm going to give. I just give the database name as BRM school. What I'm name you can give the database name. But I just give as BRM school. This is the name I want to create the database. Right. This is the user credential of my MySQL workbench. After that, this is the JPA configuration. Right. That's the only thing. You have to change it. You just copy and paste this file. So here only the things you have to do it. What is the things you have to change the database name only. After that, if you need, you have to change the port. You must change the name of your project student. Great. That's it. That's the thing you have to do it. Right. I hope you understood things well. In my next video, we'll see how to create the tables. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about how to create the entity class. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to create the database and table. So here we have created the database which name is BRM school. Inside the database, we have created the tables. These are the columns we have created. So let's execute the program and check it. So let's see if you click run button. Now here the program is building. Now you can see here. Now let me check. If there are any error, if there is any error, the error will be shown. If there is no error, your table has been created. Your database and table has been created. Now let's check. Right here, you can see here. Here, you can see here. Here, if the table student is exist, it will drop. So here, create your table. The table has been created successful. Now you can see the table has been created successful. The all thing here, you can see all the code. The table has been created successfully. Create table student, all the columns. What are the columns you gave all the column names. Here you can see here student ID. Here student ID, student name should be varchar here. Student address, all things will be created. Here mobile, active state. Then this active state, all things should be created successfully. It's a primary key of the ID here. All things you will be able to see. Now let me check on the database table. So let's open up our MySQL workbench. Here also you will be able to check whether it is created or not. I'm going to open up. Let's open up our database. Here you can see. You can see the BRM school, the database has been created. Inside the database, you can see the table has been created. Here, the table has been right click, select all columns. Here, your table has been created successfully. Perfect. Now what you're going to do is, instead of using here, I have to configure into my IntelliJ idea. The database I'm going to configure into the my IntelliJ idea. It is much easier rather than we have to go and check when you add the record, you go and check whether the record is added or not. It easily we have to configure into our IntelliJ idea. IntelliJ idea, there is an option database. Here on your right side, you will be able to see there is an option database. Click on this option. Here you can see here. This is a completely database management part covered by IntelliJ idea. There is option database. Here on your right here, you can see the database. Right. So here, click plus symbol here. Here you can see data source. Here you can see all the databases are there here. MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQLite. There are various databases there. So here we have to use it MySQL. So select the appropriate one for MySQL database. Right. Before that, what you're going to do is what is the table you have created? The database you have created. This database name, I'm going to copy it. Control C to copy first. Right. Then you have to go over here, data source, MySQL. So click on this. Open up this dialog box. Here you have to configure your connections. So localhost, what is the localhost? Which port is running? Double 306. Okay, you must give the port. Okay, if you have any issues, what is the port running? You just click on here. You test the port here. This is the port where my server is running. So I give the port. User, you have to use a user credential. You have to give root is my username, password is root123. Right? You must give while you install the MySQL workbench. What's the username and password you given? The same username and password you have to give here. After that, database. Which database you have created? I just copy that name, which is copy the name. I paste it over here. BRM school. This is the database I have created. Right. Before click OK, you have to test the connection. Whether the connection, all the connected are succeed or not. Click test connection. Here you get the success message. Now your all the connection will be success. Now you have to first you have to apply. After that, click OK. Now you can see here your database is created. It's very simple. We have only one database. We can manage it over here. Rather than go to the MySQL workbench and open up here, your database is there. Now here the database is here. Localhost, your database is reside on localhost. Inside here, your database BRM school. Inside the database, we have a table students. Right click. Here we have to. Here you double click on this. If you double click on this, there's a separate. Here separate your table will be. Here you will be able to see your table columns. Right here, your table columns. These are the names you are given while you creating your tables. Yes, our table structure here. Student ID, student name, address, all things you will be able to see here. Perfect. This how we have to make the connection to our IntelliJ idea, the database. We have give successful. I hope you guys you understood the things well. I'll see you in my next lecture in tech. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about the entity class, how to generate the database table. We already done. Now, I'm going to create the DTO. Here, in the front end, we have sent the request to controller. We already taught we have the data will be we are passing through the DTO format. So we have to create the DTO classes. So how to create the DTO classes? Very simple. So here we have to create 3 different DTO classes. view the records, add the records, and update the records. So the same thing is student. Here we have to create here new Java class. You have to name it as student DTO. You type student DTO. Press enter key on your keyboard. Here it will be created successfully. Now you go here, the entity student. We only need this. Need this variable. So student ID, student name, address, mobile, and active. I just copy this back to my DTO class. Inside here, we have to paste them. Right. Now we have to get rid of these lines, columns. That's all the things we don't need them. Only we need, right, this only variables, variable creation only we need. The data is, when you request a front end, the data is coming via the DTO format, look like this. Student ID, student name, address, mobile number, and active. This is the format our data will be coming. So like this. Let's go to the postman. So you have to easily understand that. We already show how the work, how to work with the front postman. So I'm going to here like this. Here we go to the body. Here we have to type like this. Here so data, when the first you have to look tester to the postman. Here you have to coming like this. You have to make it as this one text. We have to make it as JSON format. Right now here open bracket and close bracket. Here we have to type this student name equal what's the name you are typing here on the front end. Okay, what is the name you have typed? Sorry, this is not a dot format. You have to write this as a dot PDF for JSON format. Right. So here we have the data is coming like this. What's the data? This data, if you have to post request, you click on it. What happens is data is coming via the DTO format. This is the form. This data is coming like this form. So it's getting here. The address getting here, mobile number. Likewise, the data is coming from the front end. Now you have an idea. Front end to controller data is passing via the DTO format. This of the data will be passing the DTO format. When you add the data or edit the data, all things you are passing the DTO format. Look like this way. Right. Now here we have created the DTO class successfully. After that, we have to generate the constructor as well as a get and set method and string. So these are the things we have to instead of doing like this. Here the instead of doing like this, we have a dependency. This dependency will be manage everything easily in Spring Boot application. Instead of we have to write in this way. That way also I'm going to tell you. So you have to easy to understand. So that dependency, which name is Lombok Maven. You type Lombok Maven. So you can see the Lombok Maven. You have to go here. So click on this. You go here. Now what you're going to do is you have to get the dependency over here. Okay. I'm going to get the dependency as I'm going to getting this one. As I'm going to get it this one. You can get like this. Okay, I'm going to get this version. Click on this. Right here, this one. I just copy this dependency. Just copy. Control C to copy. Back to my Spring Boot application. Go to the form.xml file. Here we have add the dependencies. You already I have explained. If you want to add the new dependency, you go to the form.xml and the new dependencies. Right. The Lombok I am going to add it here. I am going to add the inside the dependency. This is a dependency. This is all this this annotation is start and closing here. Inside this annotation you have to add it. Don't add out of that. Right. Now we have added successfully. After add it, you have to update it here. Click on this button and you have to update it. Then only the logbook dependency will be updated. Right. Now it will be updated successfully. Now what you're going to do is you back to your student DTO. Here you have to implement it above the class. You have to add the annotations. Okay, instead of adding the constructor and get set method, simply you have to add argument constructor and without argument constructor you have to set it. You have to write it here. It's coming from the Lombok dependencies. Okay, here all arch constructor here. All arch constructor means all the arguments will be there if it is a all argument constructor, right? So here you have to select this one. It will be managing everything instead of writing like this way. Okay. It will reside at it will be resided inside the Lombok dependencies. This annotation will be resided inside the Lombok dependencies. Keep in your mind. Second dependency, I'm going to add no arch constructor. This also reside on Lombok dependency. Right. Third one we have to add it as a data. This is the this how we have to generate the get and set method. This how we have to generate the get and set method. Right. So we have to click on this. We have to add these three annotations. Okay, this one should be here. This I explain it here. This constructor here. This all things it will be managed. This one should be the no arch constructor. Mean here it's an empty constructor. We have to implement it in the Lombok. You have to write no arch constructor. You have to understand this. This is the very important stuff. You have to develop the Spring Boot application. Right. After the data, which is instead of you are writing your data here like this, get and set method to all the things you are getting like this, you have to call simply this annotation data, which will be manage all the process. Here, how easy is it? These three annotation will be managed get and set method, constructor, and everything. Okay, very simple. Right, that's it. Right. Now we have successfully created the student DTO class. Now we have to create another DTO class which is a student save DTO. So select the DTO, right click new class. You have to name it as student save DTO. Press enter key on your keyboard. Now save DTO. This one student DTO means if you have to view the records. We have to view the records. The save DTO, we no need the student ID because we have created the student ID which is a auto increment field here. We have created the student ID which is a auto increment field so that we no need the student ID. So we need the rest of field. We need this all the field. I just copy the rest of the field. We paste it inside the save DTO. That's it. That's the thing you have to do it. After that, here the same this annotation I just copied and paste in paste above the student save DTO class. That's it. Right. The same thing you have to do with the another DTO you have to create. Right click new student update DTO. You have to implement that. The same thing. The save the we need this all the attributes because when you update the record we need a ID. So we need all the fields. So all the fields just copy and paste inside this class. That's it. Here also we have to generate all the annotations. Copy it and you have to go to the student update, you have to paste it. That's it. That's the thing you have to do. Right. If you all the things you have done it, if you want to, you just run the project. Nothing will be happen. You just run the project and check whether it's anything error or not. You can identify. Here it's working perfectly well. Here it's working perfectly well. Right. I hope you guys you understood so far. I'll see you in my next lecture, next lecturing. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about how to create the DTO classes. Now let me continue the video. Now we have created the controller package. Now I'm going to go to create the controllers. So select this controller package, right click, new Java class. You have to write it here. This one is student controller. You write like this. Start the student capital, and here the controller also capital. This is the efficient way to create the controller class. Press enter key. The controller class has been created. After that, I'm going to create the service. Select the service package. Right click. New. First, I'm going to create this one Java class. This one is not a class. We have to select as interface. Here, right, please. You have to write it here. Student service. Press enter key on your keyboard. After that, your student service is created. Select the package. Create another package which is a service new. Here you have to select the package which is the IMPL, which is nothing but implementation. You write IMPL. Inside this package, I am going to create, select this one, right click, new. I am going to create the class student service IMPL. Student service IMPL. I have created the class. Right, this is how we have created the all the things. Now we have to create another one which is a repo. Select this package repo, right click, new Java class. When you create the repo, you have to create as interface. You have to write student repo. The repo is a part which will be communicate with the database. It's all the SQL queries, all things. It will be handled by the repo. Right. That's the thing you have to create. Right. These are the classes and interfaces you have to create. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next lecture. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about how to create the classes and interfaces, everything we have created based on our project. All the things we have created. Now, first we have to back to our documentation. Here first, the data will be how the data flow working. I already taught Spring layer architecture. What is the data coming from the front end? It will be passing to the data to the controller via the DTO format. Controller passing to service, service passing to the repository, repository passing the data to the data source via the entity, right? Now this is a thing we are going to create one by one, right? Now let's go here, the controller, right? This is the DTO. First, we have to look at the DTO, which is a save DTO. I'm going to teach. Right. First, the controller class. What are the annotations we have to implement? We already talked about this one. First, we have to implement the REST controller. We already taught these all things. Second one is a cross origin. Third one is we have to implement it as a recast mapping. Here I'm going to type the URL API slash v1, which is a version. You write the version. This is the efficient way to write the URLs. Here we have to write student. You write student. That's it. That's the thing. You have to write it here. Here inside this class, we already with this all things I have taught. I now need to talk again. So this is the when the URL is coming this way. API version student. Go inside this class. First, I'm going to create the method which is a save student. So how to create the method? You have to type public. You have to write string save student. Here you have to write inside the bracket. We have to write annotation request body. Okay, request body student save DTO space. You have to write S again here. The same name you have created with the here. You can see this is the beauty of IntelliJ idea. The object it will be telling the way. It's simple. You have to create it here. Right like this. So this class you have to create the object student save DTO. Right. So I don't worry. I will be explaining it. Open bracket and close bracket. Right. What I did so far, here I create the method which name is save student request body. When the request is coming from the front end, this is the front end tool. When you are going to add the record, this URL you are typing, you have to add this all the fields data. So this is a saved DTO. Now look at the saved DTO. The data is coming student name, address, mobile, and active state. It's coming. This all the data. This is the saved DTO format. This format. The data is coming. Here this format. Student name. You have to write the student name here. Okay. After that the mobile address. You write the address. Address. Right. This how the data will be coming. This is the same name. You have to write it here. Okay. This is the this how. This all things are the same DTO format. Data record is coming the same name. It's coming the same name and passing to this object. This all the data will be reside on this object. It will be passing. You are calling here request body. All the data is coming here. It passing the object as say student save detail. This object. This all the data will be consist of this class student save detail. This class we have created the object student save detail. Right. Inside this method, what I'm going to do is here is I'm going to create the string id equal. Now we have to understand here. This is very important stuff. Let's move into our documentation here. Controller will be the front end. The data is coming via the DTO. We already talked. This is this is the front end tool. If you are typing like this and click send button, the DTO is the same. Which name? The DTO. This name. The DTO name. Right. The same name you have to write it. They are the front end tool. The data is coming. This format. This is passing to where? This format passing to this object. Now the data is now in controller. Controller passing the data to where? Service. Controller which will be passing the data to service. Right. Now what you're going to do is here service. So here we have to write it here. String ID. We have to write here. We have to add the service AutoWare. You have to write here AutoWare. You have to write AutoWare. You have to add the annotation. Here you have to write the thing is private, you have to write private student service, student service. Okay, we have to call it here, student service, servant service. It automatically, if you write this class name, this is student service class name, you have to write it here. Automatically, the object is, which will be created name, which will be pop up here. Okay, it's don't worry, it will be pop up here. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. Okay, so here whatever you have to write like this here. You have to add the annotation whatever. So write private student service. Okay, here I am telling the path. The controller passing the data to where service class. So they have to auto where this class over here. You have to write the class here. You have send it to which class? The data will be I am to pass into which class? Student service class. It is not a class, it's an interface we are passing. Interface will be passed into the class student service IM. Yeah. Now what you're going to do here, we have to write student service, this one. You write the student service dot. Now here I'm going to create the method. I'm going to create the method and student. We no need to create the method in our student service. If you have created the method, it automatically added here. Now here, what you're going to do is, what is the data is coming? This data, student save video data. I just copy and paste it over here. Right? That's a simple thing you have to write. Okay, the data is coming via the DTO format. The save DTO is coming. We have created the object save DTO here. All the data is be here. Now what I did here is after that controller will be passing the data to where service class. Okay, service. So what you're going to see here we have to write this. We have to call in the service here. Student service this interface. You have to write it interface. You have to create the object. Right? We have to create the object using auto-where annotation. Now, after that, what I did here is we have to call it here student service dot. We have to create the method add student. What are the data is there? This data we have to pass in here. And this all the data will be passing to a student service interface. This method. So you don't create it here. It's simple here. You have click on this. Here you can see the red bulb symbol. You can see here. Here, click on here, create method. This method will be created where here it will mention student service class, add student will be created. If you click on this, here it will be created. Student service interface it will be created. Very simple. It will be created successfully. I hope you understood things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talk about how to pass the record from the controller to student service interface. Let's continue the video. Now we have created the student method successfully here. String add student. So here we have to implement this method into our student service IMPL. So here you have to write this class. You go to the student service IMPL class. You have to write implements. You have to implement all the things. You have to write student service. Okay, all the things we have to implement. So here, what you're going to do is we have to implement the data. Right? So here we have to add the service annotation. The IMPL, we have to add the service annotation. This is a service. You have to add the service annotation. Right. Now here, this is not error. So we have a one method. That method we have to implement it to this class. So here, if you click on this here, there is a bulb symbol, red color. You have to implement method. We have an implemented method in our service, which is a add student. So here the data is coming here like this way. Okay, so here click OK. Now the error go away. Your method is implemented successfully. Your method is successfully implemented. Now here we have to insert the data into the database. So here we have to send the data to where? The service to repo. So what you're going to do is here we have to write first, we have to the same thing. The controller, we are passing the data via student service. So we have to write auto where we have to add that interface here. The same thing we have to add it over here. Student service IMPL, you have to write auto where you have to write private student repo space, you have type s here, the same object. You don't need to create the object here, it automatically IntelliJ will be take care of it. You just import that. That's it, that's the thing you have to write. So let's go to our repo. So repo, I already explained what is a repo. It will be managing the SQL queries, insert, update, delete, all the SQL queries which will be managing this repo, which is a part. It will manage all the SQL queries. After that, it will be connecting it with the database to add the record or view the record or edit the record. It cannot directly communicate with the database. It will be communicate with the database via the entity class. Entity class, which is nothing but all our database column, all things that we have created through the entity class. Right. Now let's move into our student repo. Student repo, we have to extend the JPA repository. JPA repository, we have to this repo we have to communicate with the database via the entity class. So we have to write the entity class. We have to create the entity class. Is the same name. We have to write the entity class. Comma is the root. We have to write the first. What is the ID? ID. What is the data type you have to use it? The your primary key. What's the data type you are using? Int. So we have to write it here as integer. If you are using the long, you have to write long here. So we are using the integer, so we have to write integer. This is we have to write. This is an efficient way to create the repo. So now it can. This is a JPA repo. So the JPA repo, inside this repo, what are the things is there? You just press the control key on your keyboard and click it here. Here it consists of all the CRUD relevant part. Here this all the save, all things are there. Delete, all things are get by ID. All the methods should be there over here. You will be able to see there are many functions are there. You will be able to see inside this repo. So I just close it. So here all the SQL core is managed by the JPA repository. You keep in your mind. That's the thing you have to write. That's it. Right. Now I'm going to moving to my I'm moving to my student service IMPL. Here we are. I'm going to add the record. So here what you're going to do is here. First I'm going to the entity class. You have to write entity class student. You have to create the object of this entity class. So it's student. You have to write student. So you have to write this here. You just move the cursor over here. Or press Alt key and press Enter key on your keyboard. Now this class will be imported above. Right. Equal new student. You have to create the entity class. We have to create an entity class. We can't add the record directly through repo. So here we need a entity class. So we have to create the entity class object over here. Inside here, what you're going to do is the data is coming the student DTO format. The data is coming student DTO format. So we have to set the columns. Here we have to set the columns. So here It's go. We have to set the columns. The ID is when you add the record, we no need to give the ID because ID will be which is a auto increment part. So this argument we don't need them. You have to get this construct without ID. We take this constructor and add the record. So here, go here. Now here we have a column. Again, I'm going to telling the working flow. So go to the controller. The data is coming via the DTO format, save DTO format. So you can just save DTO format, it's get the data, receive the data. The data passing to the service. Service, there is a add method. So interface, it passing to the service IMPL. So here, if the method is created, here. The data is coming here. Now we have to add the data into the database. So what you're going to do is we have to via the entity format. So entity is a we have to here is a you just go here the entity. You can see here this is the our database table structure. This is a database table structure. So here this is our we have created the constructor without ID. So the ID is auto increment. So we no need the ID. So this is constructor is applicable. So that we have created the constructor without ID. Understand that concept. Well, right. Now here, what you're going to do is here this is our student entity class. We have created the object student. Now here the data is coming via the DTO format. You have to get the data. So we have write student save DTO dot get student name. Get student, all things are there. So we didn't here if you add the all arch constructor, no arch constructor data, the data consists of all the get and set method, all things are there. So all the get and set method, all the things are take care of this data. So that's why this get and set method is get student is there. Comma. After that, we have set it as student save DTO dot. Second one is address. We have an address field. Comma student save DTO dot. Another one is get mobile. Set mobile. Get mobile. After that, here we have another one fields. That is, if you are not we are leave it here, the error should be there. Here this constructor this data is not applicable for this. This go and check this constructor the entity. There's a 3 data is there. No 3 data following the constructor. We have a 4 data. Here name, address, mobile, and active. So that's why the error will be shown. So now here we have to add another one field which is a active. So student save DTO dot is active. If you add it here, error go away. There is no error. Okay, this all things followed by entity, this entity class. Name, address, mobile, and activity. That's it. And that's the class. It will be following this things, this data. Right. I hope you guys you understood the things well. We have set into the entity successfully. Now I'm going to add the data into the database. We have to get the help of repo. So student repo. We have create the object here. We have to here get it here student repo. It has a method which is a save. The save method we have passed is all the data we are passing to this object student. That's it. That's the thing we have to write it. How easy it is. How easy it is. Control will be passing to the data to the service passing to service IMPL. So here we have to service IMPL will be passing to repo. Repo can't add the record directly. Get the help of what is the entity. This is the entity. So entity, you can check this entity. So here we have set this entity class object you have created student. Now here the DTO record is coming via the DTO. You have to all the record we are getting using the get method. To get to all the records we have to using the get method. What are the records there? We have get all the record using the get method. Student name, address, mobile, and active. So here like this here. What are the records are coming here? Getting all the records via the get method. Get the record and we have to put into this object student object. After that, we have to add the record into the database. So repo, which is a part coming into the database, dot it has a save method. We pass into this entity. Right. This how add the record into the database. The simple scenario. Now after add the record, here I have to after add the record we have to add it here. This one we have write student, simple here student, this student object dot you have to get name. You have to get the inserted student name. This inserted student name. What are the student name you are added? The inserted student name will be returned if the data if the record is successfully added. The added student name will be we have to return. That's how we have did here. Successful. Now it will be returned to the controller. So here all the things are success. It will be passing to this here, this ID. Now here I'm going to what you're going to see here. I'm going to return. I'm going to ID. This ID now here I here write it here is name. Name. That's it. Right. The final part we have to add the path. Okay, with the before I'm going to add and explain, it's very difficult to understand. That's why I finally have add the path. When the request is coming, API version student, after that you have right here, this is the post request. We are posting the records. Here, we have to posting the record. I'm going to showing the practical. Don't worry. So here, got the annotation, post mapping here. All the different mapping are there. You have to select as post mapping. When you save the record, you have to implement the annotation which is a post mapping. You have to add the URL. You have to write path. You have to write path equal. You have to save. Inside the double quotation mark, you have to write the save. Right. Okay, right. So this how we have to add, set the path post mapping path save. Right. This is the API request. Students slash save. Right. Now let's run and check. Run the application. Whatever changes you are done, you just click here and run the application. Then only all the changes will be saved. Right. Now the project is running here. Okay, the project is running on this port. Now I'm going to test that the post method. But write localhost colon 8085. This is the port where my server is running. You can see the port. Okay, which port my server is running here? 8085 port. This my server is running. Right. Now here, after that the URL, what's the URL? Here, this is a URL. Just copy it, Control C to copy, slash paste it. Very simple. After that, we have to save the record. So here the path save. You just copy it and paste it. That's a simple stuff. This we have you have to find the API. Very simple, you have to implement the API. You have right here. So I just forgot it. HTTP colon slash you have to write localhost colon. This is the port we have set it here. If you have forgotten the port, you can see the what the port running the Tomcat will be shown. Here you can find the port here application.property. Here also you can find the port. That's it. That's the thing you have to do it. Right. Now this is the API you have set it as a save the record. So what are the things you are going to send? So you go click on this tab body, click row. It defaultly select as text. We have to send the data using the JSON format. So select this one. You have to make it as JSON format. Open bracket and close bracket. Inside here, the same thing you have to set it here. The student save video. The student save video. It has this all the data. So here this all things I just copied. Student save video. Copy it back to my postman. Paste it over here. I'm going to remove this all the data type fields. We don't need that. This all the things. Right. So now here we have to set it this one as a API. So you're right. You have to put it a double quotation mark. Put colon. Here we have to set the name. Student name. I'm going to set this as John. The same thing address. Also you're right. You have to write the JSON format. Look like this way. Address. I'm going to put as USA. After that, mobile. You put the mobile. Something like that. Active state. I'm going to make it as here. I'm going to write true. That's it. Here you have to put it as comma. Then only it will be right. That's it. So this is the JSON format. So we have to sending this all John. These are the data. We have to sending. This data will be coming where first we have to coming to where the DTO format. So DTO. This DTO will be where passing the controller, controller passing the service, service will be passing the repo via the entity format and the recording to the database. That's how the format is working. Now let's check it. Click send button. Here John. Here the name will be displayed as John. It's successfully record added into the database successfully. I hope you guys you understood the things well. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about how to save the records. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to view the records. So let's make the method for get the records from the database. So in this part, I'm going to start with public. You have to get a list of the student details. So you write list. Your list. You have to get this one list. Here, if you get that list class here, the package has been here added. The class has been added here. It is reside on the util package. Here, you have to write student DTO. We have to get the records via the DTO format. If you have post the records, if you want to add the records, we already show in our last videos. We have to through the DTO format. We are posting the records. It is the post request. We are posting the records. You get the records also. We have to. It is get the records from the database also. It also the DTO format. So here public list DTO. We are go to the DTO student DTO. We have to get all the records. We need our student ID, student name, address, mobile, and active. With all the data, we have to get it. Now here we have write list student DTO. Here we have to create the method which name is get all students. This is the name. Open and close curly bracket. This is the method. We have created get all student. Now here inside this method, I'm going to make the list. You have to write student DTO. You have to create the object which is all students equal where we get the records from the database. So this is a controller. Controller will be passing to where student service. The same thing. What I did this save method. The same thing here also. Well, we have to get the data. The control will be passing to a service. What is the service? Student service dot. Here I'm going to create the method. What's the method I'm going to create? I'm going to create. You can create any name. I just create it as get all students. Right. Get all students. We have to get all. So this method I'm going to create as in the service student service class. I'm going to create. So we no need to create there. So we have, if you are write like this, and we have to this bulb symbol, and here there's an option you will be able to create. It's very simple. The all things take care of it. The IntelliJ idea. It's very simple. Right. After that, you have to get all the student records from the service, and you have to pass into the this object and return 10. We have to view the front end. Right. We'll be see. Right. Now, what I'm going to select this one, get all students. The service will be the controller will be passing to our service. So select this method. You can see here there is a bulb symbol. Click on this drop down. Here create the method get all students in student service. The student service, it will be created. If you click on this, you can see you no need to create. It automatically created. Very simple. You no need to do anything else. Okay, you have to you just tell it. I'm going to create the error go away. You just telling I want to create the method in student service. We have to get the request. What the request coming from the front end? We are passing to the control will be passing to the service. Service we need to get them. We have to create the method as get all students. We just create it like this way. Now you can see very simple. Here it will be created. Now this is the implementation only. We have to do the everything in the student service IMP. If you go here, it show the error. If you click on this, here you can see the bulb symbol. You have to click here. Implement the methods. Implements method mean in earlier you have one method. Here you have created one in student add student. Now you have created another method as get all students. So it is telling you have another method also. So click on here. You go click on this bulb symbol. Implement that method. Whatever method you have, click on here. Get all students. Okay, this is the method you have created. So here it's telling. Click on here. Click OK. That matters also you have to implement that. Okay, very simple. This is a simple way you have to follow it. Okay, this is the way, this is a professional way to implement the Spring Boot application this way. Right. Now what you're going to do is you have to did the things successfully. Now inside here we have to write the list. You have to write the list. Here we have to get the data from where the service will be passed into the repo to find all the students records. So here, in order to repo communicate with the database, there is a things which is a entity. So it's a entity. This where the record will be we are getting. It's a entity class. So here we have write list student. The student entity you have write student. List student. We have write get all student. Get all. We have write get students. Get students. We have to create the object of here list get students equal. We are getting where to the repo. Repo is the part where communicate with the database and get the data. Right. So student repo dot there is a function which is a find all. In our code Java, you write this one. Select all from the table name. Here we no need to write that all the things. You have write the student repo. That's all the SQL code will be manageable here and find all. So we are telling that in order to find the records through via the entity, it's a path where it will be repo to data source. There is a part entity. It will be passing the data. Right. You find all the records from the database and pass into this student get student object. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another list here. Here, this one should be student DTO. This one student DTO list. Here it will mention student DTO list. I'll be explaining, don't worry. Equal new array list. Why we are creating again this object is once you retrieving the record, this record we are getting from the database. All the student records we are getting from the database and passing to this object. After that, we have to get all the records from the database. Then how to send it to the front end. So we have to send it to the front end via the DTO format. So that we have to create the DTO. Yes, DTO. Yes, student DTO list here. This is the array list. We have tried the array list to create it. Right. This is the find the record. Get all the records we are retrieving. This is the part that retrieving record we have to pass into the front end, which formats the DTO format, so that we have to create this object. Student DTO. This format we are passing. Student ID, student name, address, mobile, active. These are all the attributes we need. So we have to create this object here. Now we have to create the loop. We are getting all the data. So you have a for loop. You write like this for loop. The student entity. You have the entity student entity. You have to write this one. You have to student colon. You have to get students. Get student. You have to get student. So all the records you are finding and passing to here. Passing to here. So you have to get all the students data should be here. So we have to get it one by one. So you have to open bracket and close bracket. Now here we have to retrieve all the records from the student via this entity. We have to sending via the DTO format. So we have to create the student DTO. Create the object student DTO equal new student DTO. We have to create the object here. Now you have write you have to get the records entity which is a part communicate with the database and get the records. So all the records will be there in get student. We have to get one by one from here. This object student dot we have to get the first student get student ID we are getting from the database. Second one you have to get it as student get student name student address comma student mobile comma student is active state. These are the four records. These are the columns we have: student ID, student name, address, mobile, and is active state. That's the thing we have. Now we have to colon 2, we have to complete the statement. Now we have to get all the records. What is the records are coming here? We have to get all the student using get method. We have to get the student records. So all the records we have to get using the get method. Now here you are passing all the records. These records, what's the record you are getting from the get student object? You get one by one. Here using this get student ID, you are getting all the records using the get method, and we are passing to this DTO. This is all the collection of record we are passing to this DTO. This DTO record we have to pass into the front end. So how to pass into the front end? We have already created the object here. This is a DTO format. We have to pass into the front end. We are passing through the front end using the DTO format. So how to write this one? You have to write it over here. This one I just you have here. You have to write it student DTO list. You have to list. This is a list of the student details. DTO list dot. You have to add you have to pass in this record, this object here, student DTO. That's it. You have to pass it. All the records we are getting here. Now we have to pass the record, all the record we are getting, we are passing through which format? DTO format. Now here we have to return, we have a return. This all the we get all the records to return. Which ones we have written? Student DTO list. Just copy, Control C to copy, you have to paste it over here. You have to return it. We get all the records from the database set as a DTO format. You have to return it as a DTO format. This collection, it will be returned to the student DTO format. Now, if you have written it, it's coming to here, get all student. It will be passing to the all students object. You have to return it here as all students. This is the flow it will be working. Very simple. Now what you're going to do is here this we are retrieving the value from the database. So we have to add the annotation, which is a get mapping. Now we have to add the URL here slash get all students. If the earlier we show API version student, if the URL is coming slash save, we are posting the records. Now, and this situation, we have to get the records from the database. So we have to call the get mapping slash get all student. So let's test that. Open up our Postman. This is a save request. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to write this one as a get. You have to the action you have to get here. All the get, post, put, all the things are there. You have to get a get mapping. So that the localhost. So we have to write HTTP colon local host. Write the port, which is a port. You're running the port. You have to execute the program. Once you've done it, you have to execute it. Then only all the changes will be applied. You have to run the application. I forgot running. Now you can see there is no error, it's running. This is the port 8085. We already saw the port, we have defined it here 8085. So here what I did is 8085 slash, here we have tried the how to set the API student controller. This is the API version. This all things just copy, Control C to copy. You have to paste it over here slash. Here you have to write it here. Get all students. Get all students. Copy it. You have to paste it over here. Get all students. So get all students. Now at the moment we have to click send button. We have no records. That's why it click here. The array will be blank. Now I'm going to add some data. Now here the post. Here post this one. Save record. So here go to this API. I'm going to add some records for the body. So we have to, in our last class we have set it here. You have to send it. The first record is John. Now here what happened is here, what I did here is you have to go to the application property. What I did here is first time if you add the records, you create the records and tables, only we the create. After that you have to make this one as an update. Otherwise it will be created again by the table and database. So the how many records you added, all the record is raised and again it will be created the table and database. That's why it will be the previous added record will be not recorded. Now again I am going to run it. You have to make it as update. This is a database configuration part. Right. Now I'm going to add another record, Peter USA. I'm going to change something, mobile number, click send. Right. Now I have added two records. Now let's go here, click send button. Now you will be able to see the two records over here. Perfect. It's working perfect. I hope you guys you understood the things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Thank you. In this video, I'm going to teach about how to edit the records. So let's back to our controller. So first we are starting from the controller. So here you can see here, if you want to add the record, you are using a post mapping. If you are view the record, you are using get mapping. If you update it, now I'm going to start in the annotation put mapping. So right, put mapping. You write the put mapping, open and close bracket. You have to give the path first. Now we have an idea. So that I have first you have to write like this. How the programming works. Now I'm going to create the function. Now this function I'm going to create as a edit function. So that we have to create as update. So we have to write public. You have to write it here string. You have to write this function. I'm going to name it as update student. If you want, you can change it as a edit student, whatever. I just create as update student this function name. So you can see here now this one. What you're going, I'm going to update the record. So here, if you want to view the record, it is a student DTO. If it is save record, you have to get it as student save DTO. If it's update DTO, update record, we have to get the update DTO. So these are the fields. Very simple. Each things we have to add at the different DTOs. So here, what you're going to do is you have to write the same thing here, like a save DTO, request body, student, student, update DTO. You write a student, it will be the IntelliJ will be telling you how to create like this. You have to pick them here. After that, open and close curly bracket. Now what you're going to do is if the request is coming slash update, now it's the data is coming via the DTO to pass the data to here. The data is coming from where? From the postman. Data is coming from the postman. So here we'll see like this. Coming here, it will be coming to the update. The data is coming like this way. So it passing to the student controller, student update here. Now we receive the data, we are sending to a service. Sending to service. So we have to create string, you write ID, you write the variable ID equal student service dot. Here I have to create the method as I'm going to create update student. I'm going to create the method. I want to create the method on the service update student. What the data you are receiving here? This one. Copy it and paste it here. This data I'm going to send into service. So service, I want to create the method. Which method? Update student. So select here. There is a bulb symbol. Click on here. Here it will be. If you click on this one, it will be telling here. Create method. Update student in student service class. Student service here. If you click on this, that method will be successfully created the student service. That's it here. You no need to do anything else. It's all the things are, it will be created. This is the efficient way to write the Spring Boot application program. Right. Now, here in this student service, this is only the implementation only. We have to do all the things. You have to go to the student service IMPL. Click on here. It has another method. So click on here, implement method. That is a student update. You have to import it here. Very simple. This is how the way working. Right. Now, services send the record to a repo. Repo is get the records from where? Database. So in order to convert the database to repo, there is a layer which is a entity. This is an entity layer. Right. This all things you already know. Now, first we have to check it. First you have to check it whether this IDs exist or not. When you update the record, first you have to check it whether that student is already exists in the database or not. So how to check it? You write if you write if how to check it through the through student repo. Repo is a part which will be communicated the database. So this is a SQL query. It will be written in the SQL query. So there is a exist by ID. There is a predefined method available in the student repo. That's a exist by ID. So the ID is coming here from where the DTO. So here try this DTO, copy then paste it here. Dot get student ID. Okay, what is the record you are going to update? Get the ID of the student. That ID is exist in the database or not. If the ID is exist, open bracket and close bracket, we have to open the entity class object. You have to create student, create the object this entity student class student equal you have write student repo dot get by id. Here you are using the get by id student update detail. This student update detail, copy and paste it over here. Dot get student id. You have to get if the student id is exists. What I did here is this entity. We have to the repo is communicate with the entity to check the record. So get the record using the entity. Repo is the one who get the record. The get the record. If the IDs exist, the particular matching value will be getting through the entity. So that we have create the entity object over here. After that, what I'm going to do is we have to get the ID of the student. We have to set into using set method. So your student dot set name. What are the fields we have set? Set name. Here we have student update detail dot get student name. What's the name you are retrieving? All the records. Now we have to set it. Set means you already the record is your exists in the database. So we have to make the changes and updates so that we have to call in the set student. So we have to what is the record you are getting. So you have to set it to make the changes. That will be the update. So the same thing you have to write the student dot set address update dto dot get address. After that student dot set mobile and the field of mobile student update dto dot get mobile student dot set active. Here write student update dto dot is due. Right. We have to what the ID is exists, the particular ID is state. It's coming here. Right here you have to coming here. Now you have to set the records. What the record is coming here, you have to set it. The relevant fields. After that, we have to how to save the record. We don't have a method called update on Springboard. Again, we have the existing record. We have to save. So the how to save student repo dot there's a method to save. Which one I'm going to save it? This in this one, this entity object. Right. So why I write this entity is entity is a part in between the student repo and data source. We have to passing through the data. So we have to create the object. Here also we have created the object. So here we retrieve the data. So the same thing we have write it here the entity. So all the data we are set into. You are set into. You are passing here. That's what you have write here. So that's why you have write student, student, student. All the data we are setting to this object passing to this student. So we have to getting the student details. The student. We have to all the records we are setting to this particular student. So we have to again we have to update the. That's it. So the student is not exist. What you're going to do is here. You write it here. Else you write it here. You make the start right student ID not exist. Right. If the student ID is exist, it will be do these things. If the student ID is not exist, display this message. That's the thing. You have to do it. This is the only thing you have to do it. Simple. Perfect. Now let's back to my controller. Now here, what I'm going to do is this controller. We have to return ID. If the record is updated successfully, it's returned the ID. Right. So here the thing is updated. It's coming here. This function is passing this ID. It return that particular ID into our front end here. Below. Right. Now let me check it. So open up the click on here. At this time, this is a put mapping. So here, so put mapping. So you have type it HTTP. So you write HTTP colon localhost colon what's the port 8085 slash back it here. Copy this API, this one back to here, paste it here. Here, what's the things? What the API here? You are given update slash update update. Now here we have write it here. Click on the body row. You will make it as JSON open and close bracket. So how to test that? I already tell the way. Go back to your DTO. All things you just copy it. Control C to copy back to here. Paste it here. We have to erase this one. We don't need them. You have to get rid of these lines. Only we have data. Right. Now you have to make it as a JSON format. You have to make the data as a JSON format. Student ID equal 1. So this one you have to make it as some changes. What are the changes I'm going to give? James. So the address field you have to make this one. The address also you have to like this. Mobile active. This is a JSON form. Okay. That's address also. I want to be change it as here you have to make it as comma. This also comma. Make it as USA mobile number. I'm going to change it as something like that. Comma. Mobile number is the integer, so we don't need the double quotation mark. Only string value only we have to make the double quotation mark. You have to make it as colon. Right. So here we have to make it as comma. Right. Active state we have to make it as true. Right. Now I'm going to update this one. So here number one is John. I'm going to change it as a James. So we have to change the phone number as well. Now let's run the program. We haven't run it. Stop and run it.
Okay, don't forget to run the program. So we have to, after do all the things, we have to run it. Then only all the changes will be applied. Now there is no error. If you have not get any error, it will be passing here. So there is no error. So that here successfully the code is generated. The application start. The application is successfully. Now let's test the request. Click send button. Here one means ID will be the ID will be coming one. One means the record is successfully updated. So let's back to our uh, project. Here the get data, here check it, or student send it. Here here James is updated successfully. Now if you want to test again, James, I'm going to write James and James. Here you have to address, you have to change it as a India. Now let's say again, I'm going to click send. One, it's updated. So let's back here, send it. Here Jane, it successfully, it will be updated. Perfect. Now I hope you guys you understood things well. Now here you can see here that if the student ID you are typing a one, what you're going to do is coming here. If the ID is one is exists in the database table or not. If it is exists, it's coming to here and put the ID here. Student update detail what's the ID is coming here. Get the ID. The matching ID records will be loading via the entity here. After that we have to, what is the API records, these are the records we have sending from the front end. It will be setting here, it will be setting here the existing records we are setting to the new record over here. And if you are again, we have to student report dot save, you have to passing this entity object here, your newly changes will be updated here. That's the thing we have to do it. Okay, very simple. Okay, but the ID is coming here. The appropriate record will be, the ID matching record will be loading via the entity. After that, the newly record will be your setting. What is the changes you are made at? So the all the changes will be coming from the DTO format here. You have to get student name, address, mobile, and active state. This all the newly changes will be your setting here using the set method. After that, report.save, you have to call in this student entity object here. Your record has been updated. This is how the things works. I hope you guys you understood successfully. Thank you for watching. Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the delete part. So in our last video, we talked about the update part. You can see here the when you save the record, we are using the post mapping. When you retrieving the records from the database, we are using the get mapping. When you update the record, we are using the put mapping. Now we are going to delete the records from the database. So we are using the mapping, which is a delete mapping. We have to add the annotation first. After that, we have to give the path slash. I'm going to write it here as delete. So type delete, delete student. I'm going to just delete student. You can, if you want, you can write delete only. Okay, you can type delete student, whatever. Okay, it's no problem. After that, we have to slash, we have to write the ID here. What's the ID is coming here? What's the record you are going to delete? What's the ID is coming there? Relevant, the matching row want to be delete. So you write the request is coming, delete slash the ID. What's the ID you are typing on the front end? Right. Now here I'm going to create the method public string. You have to create the method as delete student. You have to create the methods to delete student. Here you have to write the path variable. This is called as a path variable. That is called as a path variable. So we have to implement the annotation as a path variable. After that, we have write the value equal. Here you have write id. Here you have write int id. Open and close curly bracket. Right. Now what's the id is coming here? This id will be passing to here, this path variable. What's the id you are typing on the front end? What's the id you are typing on the front end? I'm going to open up my Postman. Accidentally I close it. So you can see here what's the id you are typing on the front end. It is this id will be passing to here. This id will be set into this variable. You have to understand the concept. After that, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to create the Boolean variable delete student equal. So what's the id is coming here? We have to send it to a controller passing the record to service. We already know here. So all the example, what the request coming from the front end, it passing to the controller passing to the service. So here also we are passing to the student service dot. Here we have to create the method delete student. That's it. Open and close curly bracket. Now here, what is the thing we have to delete? Which one? The front end we are passing the ID. This ID is passing here this path variable assigned to here. This ID we have to passing to the here to send into our service. So service. Now what I'm going to do is here service will be via service we have to create the delete method. So simply you have to click on here. There's a here red. You can see the red bulb. You click on this one. Here create the method delete in your service. You click on this. If you click on this, it has been created in your service student service interface. Now we are going to your student service IMPL. You have to above it has to implement the method which is a delete. So click on here. You have to implement the method delete student. Click on it. OK. It has been implemented successfully. You are implemented. Right. Now you can see that this was successfully implemented. Now first the same thing you have to check it. What we are checking in the update, the same thing you are checking. What the ID is coming here? First of all, you have to check the record is exists in the database now. What the ID you are typing, you have to check it here. Whether that student is available in the database table or not. So we have to check it if how to check it the same thing student repo. Yes, the student repo. You already have to implement the annotation here. Yeah? Student repo dot it has student repo as a predefined method which is a exists by id, whether the id is exist in the database table or not. We have to check it. Now here what the id is coming here, we are passing to here. If the id is matching, the IDs exist, what I'm going to do is here we have to call this repo student repo dot student repo. It has a method delete. We have a method called delete method. We have a delete method. So delete, you have to write delete instead of delete. You have to write here delete by ID. Delete. You have to write delete by ID. Here it is there. Delete by ID. You have to select this one. It is easy. So delete by ID. What's the ID is coming here? You have to pass it here. Now what you are going to do is it will be it will be passing to the student repo. Student repo communicate with the database via the entity to delete the records from the database. That's the thing we'll do here. Very simple. Okay, get the ID. The student, the IDs exist in the database. What happens is we have to the repo. We are calling the repo as a predefined method which is a delete by ID. Now what's the ID you are receiving? You are passing to here to delete the records. Now unfortunately the student ID is not exist in the database. So we have to tell that the else condition. You have to write the stout. You have to telling here student ID is not found. That's it. The simple way you have to do the program. Very simple way you have to do the program. Very simple. Okay, very simple here. We have a controller passing to the service interface pass to service student service IMPL, get the ID, delete the student. That's it. Now, student record is deleted. It will be returned to via the controller here. Now here we have to what the message we have to pass it here. I don't need to the student we have to call it here. We have to get the message deleted. You have to write like this. Here also, if you want the update also, you no need to retrieve the updated ID. You can return also here. You have to write it here as well. Updated. That's also fine. If you want to need a message, you have to write the message. Save also you have to. If you need a message, you have to do the message here. I am going to instead of like this, you have to write added. Okay, very simple. Right. Now let's execute the program and check it. Right, there is no error. Let's back to our postman. I'm going to get another things. So here we have this one should be post, get, put. Another one which is a we have to change this one as a delete mapping. So we write HTTP :// asked what's the port 8085 8085 / what's the URL. First we have to you just copy this one, Control C to copy back to my postman. You paste it / here back here. What's the URL? Delete mapping. So you have to copy this URL. You have to paste it here. Here we have to additionally we have to type one thing. So here this ID. What's the ID? What's the ID you are going to delete? So we have get student. We have to get all the student. Let me see. Right here. We have a two student records are there. Student 1 and student. I'm going to delete the Peter. So what's the ID? 2. So back to my delete. Here we have to put it here 2. We have to put it here 2. Right here. You have to put it as the ID is 2. Okay, very simple. You have to put it the ID as 2. Right. So what then we have click on the send button. Here delete that record has been deleted. Now let's go back to here. Now again we have to refresh the record here. Record 1 has been deleted. Okay. If you have put 1, 2, what happens is the front end we have to call it the delete 2. What happens goes here. 2 will be coming here. It passing to here. It passing to here. It will be passing to where here to your student IMPL. You receive the ID and delete the row. That's it. Now I hope you understood things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we saw how to find the record. In this video, I'm going to talk about the another dependencies. This dependency is very helpful for reduce the code snip. So you can see here, if you are go to the student DTO, we have a 5 fields. Imagine you have a 10 or 15 fields. So you have to go to the student service IMPL. Everything you have to write. Here we have written only the 4 lines. So if imagine if you have a 15 line, you have to write a 15 lines record, you have to add it. So if you have reduced the code snip, you have to use the model mapper. So how to install the model mapper? You have to go to the Google. You have type here model mapper maven. You have type model mapper maven. This is a dependency. You have type model mapper maven. So click on this here. This is first result. You have to click on this. It goes to the respective page. So here there is a versions. I'm going to get it this one. You'll get it 2.4.1 this. I just click on this. So this is the dependencies. So you just copy this line. You just click on this. It will be copied to the clipboard. Now I am going to back it to the Spring Boot application. Go to the pom.xml file. There is a separate area inside the dependencies. You have to paste on the dependency. What the dependency you have copied, you have paste it. Right click, you have to paste it. Here there is a paste option. You can paste it. After that, you have paste it. You must click on this button to update. Now then it will be updated. Now you can see it. You have to wait here till the update. Here you can wait. Right. Now it has been updated successfully. Now what you're going to do is after update this one. Now let's go to my package. This is the package, the main package. Here I'm going to create a new package. So select the package, right click, new package. This package I'm going to name it as config. I'm going to name it as config. Press enter key on your keyboard. The config package has been created successfully. Inside the package, so select the package, right click, new. I'm going to create the class which is a model mapper config. I'm going to create the class model mapper config. Press enter key. Your class has been created successfully. This is all the configuration part we are doing here. So model mapper. This is a configuration class. So you have to add the annotation configuration. That's it. Inside the class, now here I have to create the model mapper method. So you have to write model mapper. This one. You have to write here model mapper. Open and close curly bracket. Now here what I'm going to do here is you have to write a return new model mapper. That's it. Now this one has a you have to add the bean class. You have the bean. That's it. After done the stuff, what you're going to do is you have to click on the you have to run the application and you have to run the application. So you have to see whether is there any error or not. So it's running successfully. There is no error. I hope you understood the things well. I'll see you in my next lecture. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we saw how to add the model mapper. In this class, I'm going to teach how to use it. So go to student service IMPL. Here I'm going to use it. So you can see here, first, before we are using, you go above here. we have to call the model mapper configuration class over here. So we write auto private is a model mapper object model mapper, right? So this one inside this method we have to call it, return this method we have to call it here. This is a class. Now what you're going to do is here after that I'm going to go to this is the get student by id. So here you can see here we already saw you have to find the record by the id. The result we have to get as a entity type, we have to convert as a DTO type. We already show this one. Now this this line we have to reduce the code snip. So let's what you are going to see, just select all. I'm going to comment it. If you want to comment in IntelliJ IDEA, you have to press hold on the control key down and press slash key on your keyboard. That's it. You have to comment it. So you have to write this one. Control plus slash on your keyboard. You can comment like this. Right. Now you can see how to do this one in model mapper. It's very simple. Okay, if you want to do this one, the same thing in the model mapper, it's very simple. So I do it here. Yes. First you have to do it. You have to write this DTO entity, this DTO. You have to pass it here, right? So the entity we have to convert as a DTO type. You have to create the object first. After that, equal, you have to write model mapper. This model mapper, you have to implement the object here, model mapper. This one. The model mapper, there is a property which is a map. Click the map. Map consists of two arguments. Here, you select this one. So the model map. First one, you have to tell them which one you have to convert as a DTO type. So I want to convert this entity, the student entity. All my result is reside on this entity, student entity. So here we find the ID, the matching record will be passing to the entity. So the entity we have to convert as a DTO type. We have to get the result as a DTO type. The same thing we are using the model mapper. So we have to entity. First you have to write an entity student, comma. After that, sorry, here you can see we are using the optional type. So optional type, how to get the data, dot get. So you use the get method, comma. Now here you have to write a DTO. So we have this one, the entity format you have to convert as a DTO. So how to convert as a DTO? You have to call this class, DTO class, this student, DTO dot class. That's it. That's the thing. You have to do it. After that, the same thing. Return student DTO. That's it. The simple graph we have to do it. How is it easy? You can say here. This code we have to simply have type by one line. Entity we have to convert as a DTO type. We get the result as an entity type. We have to pass that entity type and we have to passing the data to the front end. We have to convert them as a DTO type. This DTO type we have to convert them very simple. Or this one is an entity type. Which one you have to convert as a DTO? You have to write like this DTO class. That's simple stuff. You have to do it. Very simple. Right now let's check it whether it's working fine or not. There's no error. Let's open up our Postman. Let me check it. Now the ID, I'm going to here one. I'm going to check the one. Click send button. Here it's working perfectly well. Now here again I'm going to check it that two. It's working well. Now the model mapper is working fine. Here The selected query also here, it will be returned the selected query. This all the things will be here. It's a hibernate. This hibernate here, this one. Find all by dot find by id. These all the things are SQL query. It will be written by the hibernate. Right. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next lecture. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. In our last video, we talk about how to find the record, how to convert as a model mapper. We already show in our last video. In this video, I'm going to the same this one, the list. We have a get the request. We need all the records. We are slash get all student. We have to get all the student records from the database. So slash get all student, it will be passing the service IMPL. Here the request is coming. Here we have get the records. Student repo, find all the records. So get the records via the entity. Get the records via the entity or get the records is the entity format. This record we have to convert as a DTO format. So we have to do this one. This all the things I just comment it. So just comment it. Instead of that, we have to place in our convert as model mapper. This way we have to reduce the code snip. So how to write it? Simple. The same thing you have to write the list. List student DTO, get the object DTOs equal model mapper dot map. Here we have to first we have to tell them which one we have to convert as a DTO type. This is the our entity type data. Here it's little bit complicated because we have to get all the records from the database. So here comma equal new token type token. Here we have to write the list of data. List. So the list. Here write which one DTO student which DTO this entity you convert as a student DTO format. DTO. So you write here open and close bracket. You write it over here dot get type. That's it. The simple stuff. We have to get all the records from the database and come as a entity type. You have to convert as a DTO format. So we have to DTO form. We have to convert like this. Simply we have to convert here this one line code. It will be converted. Simply you have to write it here. Professionally you have to present only 2 lines. This one should be our entity. You have to convert as a DTO in list. You have to convert as a list. You have to type new type token. List is a list. What is the thing you are going to convert it? DTO type. So DTO get type. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. After that, we have to return this. Return. So here we have to return this one. Student DTOs. Just copy and paste it over here. Now let's test it. Stop and you have to run again to apply these changes. Whatever changes you already did, you click on here and you have to run the project again. Then only it will be applied. Right, it's no problem. Now let's check it the request. It's a get request. Yes, the get request we did it. The get all students record. Let's check it. Here it's working. Now it's working, no problem. Here it's working, no problem. Here it's working. Right? It's working, no problem. Here you can see here the simple 3 lines codes instead of writing this using the model mapper class. I hope you guys you understood things well. I'll see you in my next lecturing. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. Now we find the record by the ID we already show. Now I'm going to find the record by the name. If you type the name of the student, we have to get the matching all the records another fields. So how to do the things? This is very must. So that I have get this example. You can see here very simple. So you go to the student controller. Here first what I'm going to do is The same thing, get mapping. This one find by the ID. This one find by the name. So the same, the get map, the same function I just copied and pasted here. Here you have to change this one as a get by name. The params is a name. So here this ID we have to get it simple. We have to write it as a DTO. If you get by the name, we have to write as a list. List. DTO. Get student by. This one you have to change it as a get student by name. This function you have to change it as get by name. This name you have to write it here. So I already taught here. That's why I'm going to little bit fast. Right? We have to change the function name as get student by name. So here this value name. This one string. We have to find by the name. So we have a string type name. That's it. That's the thing you have to write. So here you write it same list of the student details you have to get it for the what is the student name you are typing. So here student name you write student name equal you write what's the name you are a string is ERING spelling mistake, right? Now here what's the name you are typing, you are sending to a student service. We have to create the method which is a your right is get your right get your right student, otherwise you can write find by anything. So I'm going to find all find student name. You will create the function find student name, right? You can write it here get student name, but I just create the function find student name. Here you have to write what's the value, what is the name you are typing, it's coming here, you have to pass it here. That's it, simple. Now return, you have to write the return student name. You write student, you can write student details. Copy it and paste it here, right? So what's the name you are typing, you have sending to the service to find the details of the student. So here this method, click on here, click on this bulb symbol, create the method on the service created, go to the click on here, just go to the IMPL you have to create the okay, implement the method, click OK. The method has been created here. Now here what you're going to do it, here you have to receive the student name over here. You have received the student name over here. Now here what you're going to do is receive the student name. Now here you have to write it here. Here first you have to write the list, the same student, entity type, here create the entity of the students equal student repo dot find all by name is not available. We have to create this one. Okay, so I just created find all by name here. I just created like this. We have to create this one in our repo, right? So what the name is coming here, right? So here find by ID is free defined function. Here find by ID. If you find the ID, it will be free defined. It will be available here. If you are you find the student by the name ID, the free define this function is available. But if you find the student by the name, that function is not available. So what to do? We have to create ourselves custom. You have to create custom. So you type it here. Find all by name. I just type like this. Now here, this one we have to create it via student repo. So click on here, student repo dot find by name. What's the name coming here? You have to pass it here. This function will be created in the repo and it will be search and find the details of the what's the name you are typing here. So here, click on here, click this browse symbol, create the method and repo. Click on here, it will be created here. But here, one thing you have to do it here. You can't find it if you write like this. You have to make it as a suggestion one. Here you can write find. Here you can suggestion keyword. You have to get it. Find all by name. Find all by name. Find all by student name. Student name equals. You have to get this one. Student find all by name equals. Okay, here this method. You have to find. Right, so here again I'm going to type it, find here the suggestion one. You have to get it. You can't write your want like this. It's never the data will be available. So you have to write here find all by student name equals. What to do is, what's the name you are typing, the matching record will be, it will be loaded and it will be passed into a this entity. Now here you already create the method there. We have to get it here. How to get it here? Repo dot find it. This method you already created here in your repo. This method created in your repo. This method you are getting to the IMPL. So dot find all by student name equals. Perfect. Now what I did here is, if you are write it here, student repo find all by student, the same thing it will be written in Hibernate, select all from student, where the student name, what's the name you are coming here, get the result into the entity type, get the result in the entity type, we have to convert as a DTO type to front end to show the record, right? You find the record, find the record, but the result is coming as an entity type. So you have the entity type, you have to convert as a DTO type. So how to convert? Simply, if you have to write first students, the result is here. Students dot size not equal 0. If the student size is not equal 0, right? If the student size is not equal 0, it's not equal 0, not equal 0, I want to display the record, the details, student details, if the record is available. So ID only we have to use the optional type, the name we have to use this one. Students dot size if not equal, you have to write it here, list, you have to write, you have to convert as a DTO type. So how to convert as a DTO type? Student DTO, you have to write the student details, it will be automatically create the objects here, equal, we have to do it as a model mapper. So how to use the model mapper dot map. Here first, what the thing you have to passing? You are passing as the students. This one should list. So how to list? We have to convert. We already show this one. Comma new type token list, type token list. You right. This one should have student DTO. Student DTO. So right here, open and close bracket. Dot get type. We have to close this. Right. Simple stuff. Here, this record is an entity type. This record is coming to the entity type. You have to convert as which one as a DTO type, as a list format. We have to convert as a DTO type. After that, you have to return as this student details. The simple stuff. How easy it is. You can see, right? So here, simple stuff. Now let's check whether it's working fine or not. So let's execute the program and check it. Let's see whether is there any error or not. It's working perfectly well. Now let's open up my Postman. Yeah, the same thing. This URL, the find URL, which is find URL. This one. So this all the things I just copied. Get the another terminal. I paste it. It's a get mapping. You can see here. It's a get mapping. This is a request. You just copy it. Paste the request. Additional paste one slash. Okay. Now what you are going to do? This is a param. You have to use param. This is how you have to search the record. You have param. So param, the same name you have typed it here. So here, go to the param. Key is a name. Value. What's the value I'm going to type? You go to the get all student. Get all student. There's a record and. So and you type and. Right? See? You can see here. It automatically you have write this. Core string here. Click send button. Here you can see here that successfully find the record. Find the record of an. Now let's find another record as a Kumar. Right? So here go here. The name here get Kumar. Click send. The Kumar also found successfully. This how we have find the record by the name. I'm going to explain again. If the request is coming, you type the name over here. It's coming here. It will be passing to here. It will be passing to here. It will be passing the service as a method which is a find student name. It will be passing to the interface student service. This student interface will be passing to the IMPL class. Get your name, and we have to write the query of the student repo. Student repo, we have to create the method over here to find the record. After that, matching value will be coming as a entity type. This entity type we have to convert as a DTO type. Then we have to get the records in a very simple way using the model mapper. I hope you guys understood things well. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.